Picture this. You have a luxurious California king-sized bed, a massive expanse of premium memory foam. Yet somehow, right now, you are sleeping on a tiny, precarious sliver of mattress. You are clinging to the edge of the blankets. Meanwhile, your dog, who is perhaps a fraction of your size, is sprawled out gloriously right in the dead center. And yet, here they are, taking over your domain. If you grew up watching old-school dog training television shows, you know exactly what you were told about this behavior. You were told it is a blatant, calculated dominance move. You were warned that your dog is plotting a hostile takeover of the household hierarchy. They want to be the pack leader. They told you to physically force the dog off the bed, to show them who is boss. Because if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. The reason your dog insists on taking over your bed has absolutely nothing to do with power. It is an intricate, mind-blowing intersection of evolutionary survival, chemical addiction, and emotional devotion. Before we can understand the bed, we must understand the ghost of the alpha dog. For decades, mainstream trainers preached dominance theory. Any behavior that inconvenienced the human was viewed as a calculated attempt to usurp authority. But from a modern scientific standpoint, this theory isn't just flawed, it is biologically inaccurate. The alpha myth originated in the 1940s. Animal behaviorist Rudolf Schenkel studied captive wolves placed together in an unnatural, confined enclosure. Unrelated, stressed, forced to compete. They violently fought for survival, creating a rigid, aggressive hierarchy. Schenkel labeled the winner the alpha. For years, this became the indisputable gospel of canine behavior. Because dogs evolved from wolves, the logic went, they must operate under the same ruthless social structures. Therefore, if your dog sleeps on your bed, they are declaring themselves the alpha. But science evolves. In the late 1990s, renowned wolf biologist Dr. L. David Meek spent years studying wild wolves on Ellesmere Island in Canada. What he found shattered dominance theory. Wild wolf packs are not assembled by throwing hostile adults into an arena. Wild wolf packs are simply families, a breeding pair and their offspring. There is no violent struggle for the title of alpha. The parents lead simply because they are the parents. Dr. Meck has spent the last 2 decades trying to erase the term alpha from the lexicon. Furthermore, dogs are not wolves. Thousands of years of domestication have profoundly altered the canine brain. They are fundamentally wired to cooperate with us. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior has explicitly issued position statements warning against dominance-based training. It severely damages the human-animal bond. It incites fear. Your dog sleeping in the middle of your bed is not a power play. So, what is it? Let's look at the psychological proof. In human psychology, John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth developed attachment theory, specifically the secure base effect. When a young child feels deeply bonded to a parent, they use that parent as a secure base from which to explore a terrifying world. Recent groundbreaking studies conducted by Dr. Lisa Horn at the Vet Med-Uni, Vienna, proved something extraordinary. Dogs exhibit the exact same secure base effect with their owners. Dogs view their humans not as alphas to be feared, but as secure bases of absolute comfort. They are deeply psychologically tethered to your physical presence. Apply this psychological framework to the bedroom. The night is a time of extreme environmental uncertainty. Strange noises, shifting shadows, utter vulnerability. The dog retreats to their secure base, you.
By pinning themselves against your legs or taking up the space next to you, they are mathematically maximizing proximity to their safety net.
But this isn't just psychology, it's chemistry. To truly understand a dog's obsession with your bed, we must understand the world through their nose. The canine olfactory system is an absolute marvel of biology. While humans have around 6 million olfactory receptors, dogs possess up to 300 million. It is sensory domination. The part of a dog's brain devoted to analyzing odors is proportionately 40 times greater than ours. Dogs don't just smell the physical world, they feel, interpret, and process their emotional reality through scent. To a dog, your unique scent is a powerful, narcotic-like psychological trigger. Neuroscientist Dr. Gregory Burns at Emory University conducted a landmark study. Dogs were trained to voluntarily enter fMRI scanners. The researchers exposed them to various scents: familiar dogs, unfamiliar dogs, strangers, and familiar humans. The neurological results were absolutely staggering. When the dogs smelled the scent of their owner, the caudate nucleus in their brain lit up like fireworks. The caudate nucleus is heavily associated with the brain's reward system. It is packed with dopamine receptors. It is the exact same area that activates in human brains when we look at photos of people we are deeply, passionately in love with. Now, consider your mattress, your pillows, your duvet. To a human, a clean bed smells mildly like laundry detergent. To a canine olfactory system, your bed is a giant sponge soaked in your unique biochemical signature. We shed thousands of skin cells and sweat into our sheets every single night. To them, the bed smells like the overwhelming, concentrated essence of you. When your dog takes over your bed, they are actively bathing in your scent. It acts as a powerful, self-soothing mechanism. Being completely surrounded by your scent significantly lowers your dog's cortisol levels. It aggressively suppresses the stress hormone. Sleeping in your bed is literal biochemical therapy. This is heavily tied to oxytocin. Research by Dr. Takafumi Kikusui shows that physical contact and scent exchange between dogs and owners triggers massive spikes in the cuddle chemical. Both the human and the dog experience this. It is a hormonal feedback loop identical to a human mother bonding with her infant. They are wrapping themselves in a biological security blanket. Let's go deeper. Let's look at the ancient history. Evolutionary psychology explains the location of their sleep. Sleep is the single most vulnerable state an animal can enter. In the wild, falling unconscious means completely disabling your early warning radar against predators. It is incredibly dangerous. It requires absolute calculation. Ancestral canids selected sleep environments with extreme tactical care. They relied heavily on social sleeping. Canines are obligatory social creatures. For ancient dogs, sleeping alone was practically a death sentence. By sleeping in a huddle, the pack achieved critical, non-negotiable survival objectives. First, thermoregulation, sharing body heat to survive freezing nighttime temperatures. Second, synchronized vigilance. With multiple animals sleeping together, the pack effectively possessed dozens of ears and noses to detect danger. If one dog woke up alarmed, the entire group was instantly alerted, ready to fight or flee. Third, physical shielding. The most valuable members of the pack were always placed toward the center of the sleeping group, insulated from the cold and potential ambushes. When your dog navigates to the dead center of your king-sized mattress, they are running on ancient genetic software. They are seeking the tactical core. The bed is elevated. It provides a superior vantage point.
It is the ultimate tactical den. By wedging themselves between you and your partner, your dog is creating a protective barrier. They are using you as a physical shield, and in return, they are offering their own body to alert you to danger. They are guarding the family.
We also must decode canine sleep architecture. Humans are monophasic sleepers. We sleep in one long block. Dogs are polyphasic sleepers. They take multiple short naps. Because they wake up frequently and spend less overall time in deep REM sleep, they must be highly selective about when and where they let their guard down entirely. Look at how they sleep on your bed. Position 1, the donut. Curled up tight, nose tucked under the tail. This is an instinctual defense mechanism. It protects vital organs and conserves heat. But position 2, the sprawl. The classic bed takeover pose, belly completely exposed to the ceiling, legs splayed out in every conceivable direction. From a psychological standpoint, the sprawl is the ultimate compliment. A dog will only expose their soft, unprotected belly to the world if they feel 100% safe. By sprawling across your mattress, they are essentially saying, I trust the humans in this room with my life. Their muscles are entirely slack in a posture of complete and total trust. But here is the paradox. What happens when the bed becomes a problem? What if your dog growls, snaps, or refuses to move when you try to get under the covers? Old school dominance trainers point to this as undeniable proof. They say, see, he thinks he owns the bed. He thinks he is the master. They are absolutely convinced of it. They are dead wrong. This behavior is a well-documented psychological condition known as resource guarding. Dr. Sophia Yin, a pioneer in modern veterinary behavior, proved that dogs guard resources because they fear losing them, not because they want to rule the household. It is driven entirely by anxiety. Think of it from a human perspective. You are sitting at a cafe with a $100 bill on the table. A stranger reaches to grab it. You slap their hand away immediately. You aren't doing this to be the alpha of the cafe. You are doing it because you highly value the money and you fear losing it. Dogs guard the bed because it is the ultimate high-value resource. It is soft, smells like you, and provides unparalleled safety. When a human roughly commands them to move, the dog's fear of loss is validated. They growl to say, please don't take my safe space away. Treating this with dominance tactics is a disaster. It turns fear into defensive aggression. But there is a hidden, darker side to the psychology of the bed. The vital warning. You must pay absolute attention to the sudden absence of this behavior. What happens when a dog who has happily slept in your bed every single night for years suddenly stops jumping up? What if they start sleeping on the cold, hard floor? Most owners assume the dog simply got hot, or that they finally grew out of it. Do not ignore this shift. In veterinary behavioral medicine, a sudden change in resting location is a glaring, flashing red alarm for hidden physiological distress. It is almost never just a simple preference change. It is a cry for help. When a senior dog stops jumping onto the bed, it is often the very first silent indicator of early onset osteoarthritis. The physical mechanics of the jump have become too painful. More alarmingly, if an older dog suddenly isolates themselves in another room at night, it can be a primary symptom of canine cognitive dysfunction. Their spatial awareness deteriorates. The elevated bed no longer feels like a secure tactical den. It feels precarious and terrifyingly disorienting.
They seek the floor because their failing neurology makes them feel off balance. If your bed-hogging dog suddenly vanishes to the closet floor, call your veterinarian immediately. They are hiding their vulnerability. If your dog is healthy and you enjoy co-sleeping, we need to completely absolve you of the guilt. Outdated internet articles tell you co-sleeping will spoil your dog, but clinical data proves otherwise. A massive study published in the Mayo Clinic Proceedings examined the sleep efficiency of adults who co-slept with their dogs. The results changed everything. Humans who slept with a dog in their room maintained a sleep efficiency of 83%. The rhythmic breathing and warmth of the dog provided a profound, soothing white noise effect. For individuals suffering from PTSD or severe anxiety, the physical weight of a dog in the bed acts exactly like a weighted blanket. It grounds reality. It physically reduces hyperarousal in the human nervous system. The simple act of petting a dog before falling asleep significantly lowers human blood pressure. It reduces human cortisol levels. It allows for a much more peaceful transition into deep REM sleep. You are healing them, and biologically, they are healing you. The way we interpret our dog's behavior shapes the entire foundation of our relationship. When we look at a dog taking up the center of the bed and angrily label it dominance, we cast our best friends as our enemies. We become wardens instead of guardians. We operate out of fragile ego and unnecessary fear. But when we look at the hard science of the canine brain, the evolutionary history of the pack, and the profound power of scent, the picture changes entirely. Your dog is never trying to dominate you. They are seeking the softest, safest place in their world. They are pressing against their secure base. They are searching for you. So tonight, when you find yourself clinging to the edge of the mattress while your dog snores happily in the center, you don't need to assert dominance. You can pull the blankets up, listen to their rhythmic breathing, and take comfort in the fact that to this incredible animal, you are the absolute center of the universe. How much of your bed does your dog claim every night? Let me know in the comments below. And before you scold them for staring at you while you eat dinner, you need to see our next video. Because the neurobiology behind the infamous guilt trip stare is even stranger than you'd expect. Subscribe to Tail and Thought, and I'll see you next time.